Okay, what's up guys? I'm here with Nicola Bland.
Hello.
I'm very lucky to have met her in Hong Kong. We did Fight Club with the Secret Theatre in Hong Kong. And then I got back to London and lo and behold, you've become a writer. And your play's on soon, isn't it?
Yep, the Pleasance Theatre.
19th
of Feb to the 9th of March. So we're in rehearsals now. So it's all systems go.
Now, what I was so surprised about, I was so happy for you because, I mean, it's so hard to, one, write a play, but then to find the funding for it. And you've got a great theatre. You know, most people, they start off on a fringe thing or they start on the outskirts of London. You're straight bang in the middle. Yeah,
I mean, like, it definitely wasn't luck. It was, you know, it's been a lot. Yeah, it's been a hard work and it's been a lot of graft. But we started writing the play about 2.5 years ago. And then we never thought it was actually going to get here. We just wrote it because, so what it's about is based on a true story of our godmother and her transitioning from male to female in the 1980s.
When you say we, you mean you wrote it with your sister?
I wrote it with my sister, yeah. So, but we originally wrote it separately. So when we found out that our godmother had transitioned, we just couldn't believe it. We'd grown up all of our life knowing Vicky as Vicky and nothing else. And so my sister started asking my mum questions all about Vicky's life and things like that. And I went straight to the source and started asking Vicky about her life. Obviously not straight away, like we find out that she's transitioned and then I'm like, right, okay, we'd like to write a play about you. But I mean like 5 years later or so.
So you were just curious, and the more you learned, you were like, "This is an amazing story."
Yeah, it's just such and I just felt like the more stories we heard, I was like, "This needs a platform. Like, this is mad. This is like a working class girl, born and bred, Elephant and Castle on a council estate with 4 brothers and sisters, like a big family." And Vicky knew from an early age that she was born in the wrong body, okay. And her mum and dad, obviously there's lots of highs and lows and that's shown in the play, but they accepted it, and even though they knew it was going to be tough and they wasn't so accepting at the start, we just couldn't believe the stories that came out, like it was just mad. So Stacey started writing it as a book.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did you choose this platform?
Yeah, so Stacey started writing it as a book, and I started writing it as a TV series, so like a web series. And a lot of people that have read the script have said, I could see this being TV, film. Hopefully it comes across well on theatre as well. Yeah, exactly. So then we found out, just by her saying, oh, I'm writing about Vicky, and I was like, so am I, that we were like, well, let's
How did that happen? Was that over breakfast one day? Or?
Yeah, I think it was, my mum said to Stacey, Stacey said something, mum was like, oh, Nick's gone round to Vicky's to pick her brains about a story. And then Stacey was like, huh? And then she was like, oh yeah, like Nick's trying to write about Vicky's life. And she was like, I'm writing the book. And his mum was like,
So first, well, how do you get on with your sister? Is it competitive?
Yeah, no, we get on really, really well. Growing up was 2 years between us, 18 months between us. We shared a room, bunk beds. Okay. We used to kill each other. And then she went off to Loughborough University, so when she was 18 and I was 16, and then I felt like I'd lost a limb.
And
I was like, oh my God, like, yeah. And then we're like best mates. Good. So it's been great, it's been turbulent, but it's been great because obviously we're learning how to work with each other.
So but then tell me that step. So it's like, oh my God, you're writing a book.
Yeah.
So how did you decide?
Well, so she obviously had a lot of the stories through my mum's eyes.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of the stories straight obviously through Vicky's eyes. So I was like, no, that didn't go like that. No, Vicky said that. And she's like, well, Mum said that about that and whatever. And then we completely moved both aside and was like, right, let's write as a play. And let's see if it goes in the way of a play. If not, we'll go back to a web series. And so we started writing it, and then we just realised our strengths and weaknesses. I was quite like put a dictaphone down and like improv a scene.
How did you pick the doing it as a play? Is it because neither of you were doing?
We're doing a play, yeah.
Wow.
So instead of Stacey coming on board with mine,
because then it would have been yours.
Yeah, then I'd have been like, well, that's more mine, and that's what, so we went for a play. But I don't think the pair of us we just weren't sure if it was going to work as a play.
Had you written a play before?
No, never written anything. So it was a lot of touch and go.
My
but
gosh,
yeah,
there must be so many playwrights out there that must just be hating you right now.
I know, and I was like, but that's the thing is that like Stacey, you know, she had a double English degree, and I didn't have that. I just did drama school, and so our ways of writing were completely different. So
so who's more the like who's the one that puts all the words? And then who's the like ideas one?
I'd say more I'm the one, like that's why I ended up having to use a dictaphone, because I'd be like, do you mean a bit like this? And then I'd be like, so then Vicky would say this and and say, yes, say it again. I'd be like, oh, I don't know what I just said. Like, while she's like banging on the keys.
Okay.
So
you were almost acting it out, and she was amazing.
So, and then we'd go away and read it and come back and have notes on what we both thought. Like 90% of the time we agreed. There's a few times where we both put our foot down and was like, no, I really strongly think it should be that. And then we had a couple of, quite often we'd like park it for a month and be like, do you know what, we're two in it. Mm-hmm. And then things would come up, like we had Fight Club in London, and like Stacey had a panto, and so we were sort of back and forth. And then
so you never set a deadline on it. You just did it. I think that's really nice for writers out there to just be like, you know, there's certain stories where you just want to get it out, and as long as you keep doing it, it's going to.
And we just wanted it to be truthful and honest, and we didn't. Yeah, like the minute you start going, this is a deadline, we need this.
You start compromising.
Yeah, so you sort of go, that'll do. Oh, that'll do. But where we didn't, and then once we thought we'd written it, we were like, the one example is I wrote a scene, and I said to Stace, I was just sitting at home and I've written this scene. I don't know what you'll think of it. And I sent it over to her, and she went, that's the end of our play. And I was like, what? And she was like, that's our end scene. So we'd gone very much like that, and then we'd completely jumped. And
then you had to fill
and then we had to fill it in. And, you know, I'd say 90% of the play is truth. Like, so when people go, oh, it's based on a true story, ours is heavily based. And I think that's where we ended up getting a lot of support and a lot of faith in it, because we weren't two straight girls trying to tell a LGBT story. We were just telling our godmother's story.
So it's not that much about you. It's about the story. Yeah.
And so Vicky didn't want to read any of it and didn't want.
That's sweet.
Yeah, she was just like, no, I trust you girls. Like, go with your gut. And then we started. We started our first Arts Council application form, which is an absolute bitch. It is vile. It is so long. It is so fiddly. Like, you feel like you're repeating yourself, but yet you've got to make sure that bit's in that section, because as we found out later on, each section of the Arts Council form goes to different. So it's not like one person sits down and reads the whole form. So you might feel like you're repeating yourself,
but it's for other people.
You need to. Yeah, that would be the biggest advice I'd say, is that make sure you do repeat the important bits, because your finances might go to one department and they're like, yeah, but I don't get why. Where then if you haven't written based on a true story, like, or something, that there'd be, do you know what I mean? It's just, it was fiddly.
No, I think the nice thing about that too is that so many people get deterred by it because it's so much work. Yeah. So then you really do fight for it, and then you know that the people that get it actually really deserve it.
Definitely, we had so many people say to us, "You're about a 2%." Like, for the boxes you tick, you're about 2%, a 4% at the push.
Who are these people telling you this?
People that have done it, actors that have done it. You know, Arts Council said, like, you know, we get thousands upon thousands. Like, you know, it's very hard to get what you want. Obviously, they weren't putting us off, but I think they were just planting that it's hard work to try and get one. We applied 3 times for an R&D.
But that's honestly why I think it's such a nice thing, because you didn't set about going, because I know some people do, because they want their play done, right? So they're like, well, let me see which of the boxes I have to tick. So I'm going to write something that ticks this box. I'm going to hire this kind of actor.
Definitely.
And make sure all the boxes are ticked. Now it's going to get funding.
Yeah.
But then you know that it's this compromise piece, and it's
And I think between us, we really wanted to be truthful and honest with it. And so if we didn't tick that box, we didn't tick that box.
There you go. So well done, Arts Council.
Yeah. No, definitely. And, you know, we didn't think, oh, what's there not of? Oh, like, transgender is very current at the minute. And, you know, and when we'd started writing it, Caitlyn Jenner had just come out. So everyone was like, oh, yeah, like Caitlyn Jenner. And we're like, no,
we're doing this anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we did worry for a bit, like people would think we jumped on the bandwagon. But you know, we just stayed honest to ourselves, and yes, we did it we applied 3 times, we got it the 4th time.
So how long did it take for you to find out if you got it?
So it goes over a certain amount of money, then it's longer. But so for our R&D, our research and development, we wanted 2 weeks R&D we got help with Stratford Royal East.
Did you get that?
So yeah, they did support in kind and helped us a lot, and we got.
So you do in stages. So first is like you've written it, and then you apply for. Yeah. Why do you need more research if it's written?
Because who believes that their script is perfect? And if you do, then you are deluded. Okay.
So that first bit of funding is just for you to send it to people to make sure it's all.
Our first bit of funding was for us to be able to hire actors at a rate, so we didn't want anyone working for free. Yeah. You know, both being actors as well, we know how important people's times are. Like, it's horrible when people expect you to...
It wasn't like cheap rates, this was like equity...
No, yeah, we wanted to make sure that we were paying everyone, and company rate as well, we were really hot on, you know, because we got a few, like, you know, we've like got a few names in it, and we really didn't want to be like, oh, well, we'll pay her that, and we'll scrimp on that one because they're not as known. We wanted it company rate, and we wanted everyone's time, and we wanted people to 100% commit.
So that was for what? Table read?
So that was for... So we did a table read. We literally begged, borrowed and stole people, and was like, we'll give you food, come and read it. We read it...
At my house.
Yeah, well, we did it at Stratford Theatre. Okay. They gave us support in kind for one of their rooms, and we did a read. And then we did art. So we applied for Arts Council, and Stratford Theatre said that we could have their space if we got Arts Council funding.
So you got approved for Art Council funding for your first round, just for R&D. You got it already.
Yeah. Okay. We did three applications, but we got it on the fourth for the R&D. Yeah. Okay. So.
But after that, there's more payment. Yeah. But that's not guaranteed either, is it?
No.
Wow.
So we did our R&D in October 2017. Yeah, and then.
So how long did it take for you to hear back?
8 weeks every time.
And you celebrated?
Yeah. We were like,
but the thing is, after that first application, you can just copy, paste, try again. Right?
Yeah, but obviously you have to add in...
You have to say second.
Yeah, but no, we had to add in their feedback. So they give you sort of where you failed. They don't tell you what to improve on, but they just say, this is where it didn't meet the criteria.
Can you give an example?
So, for the R&D... What was what message did you want? Why are you wanting to tell this story? Okay. So maybe our first application made it seem like we just wrote a play. Good for us. Well done.
So my question on that is do they actually read the play, or they because maybe the message is clear in the play, but maybe they don't read.
You have to put in a certain.
So it's almost like it's almost like art A level. Yeah. Right. Because they're not looking at the piece. It's like, how well can you explain your piece? Yeah. Right? So
we did our scene one. So from scene one, they needed to get. Obviously, you write a synopsis of what yours is about and things like that, but
it's like writing the play all over again.
Yeah. So we did our R&D. That was great, and then did huge rewrites. Originally, we had a cast of 8, and everyone was like, "You're not going to get a play on with 8 people and try and pay them all company rate."
Did it put you off all this work that you had to do?
No. At times, we were just like, why haven't we got a mum and dad that are rich enough to just throw this money at us, you know? But when we finally got our Arts Council funding for our play, I just stood there and was like,
But before that, because you rejected 3 times, did you ever think maybe we should crowdfund it?
We did a crowdfund and lowered our price of what we were asking for, which obviously goes in your favour, so it shows that you're trying to get the money yourself. We begged, borrowed and stealed rehearsal space, props, you know, we really...
So you crowdfunded, how successful was that?
I think we crowdfunded we didn't ask for that much, to be fair. I think we only did £1,000 on our R&D.
And what would that help you do? Just a few more spaces, a few more rehearsals?
Yeah, and then if we didn't get our full Arts Council funding, we could bump wages up with that.
Okay.
We just wanted everything to be fair. We really didn't want... for our R&D, we didn't get paid as everything, you know,
So R&D was pretty good. Now
R&D was good, and then... So we rewrote a lot of it. We got a dramaturge involved again.
What's their job? To make sure it flows?
Yeah, and to see... Can the actor enter the room later and leave earlier, as in, let's cut out the shit that we don't need in this.
I see.
You know,
so that's someone's job.
Yeah. But the good thing with it, with like if you get the right one, is that they don't tell you what to do. They ask you questions. So you send your script to them, or you sit in the room and they'll go, "Why did Vicky feel like that? What made you write that part right there? Do you think that needs to be there? Do you think we can lose that?"
Were they recommended to you, or did
yeah,
you
we had one. So me and Stacey were both at the National Youth Theatre, and like great people come out of the National Youth Theatre. We've made friends for life, but we also. Our director was from NYT, and Stacey had done a play with him through National Youth Theatre at the Lyric. So he was our director, which is a great friend of ours. And then our dramaturge was someone I'd done a play with at NYT, that he does that. He's written 3 or 4, well, probably 5 or 6, I don't know, plays that have gone on at Hampstead, Soho Theatre. So, you know, we knew who we wanted. So we did a lot of work around that. And then we applied for Arts Council funding again, and then didn't get it, and I just then went to Hong Kong and I was gutted. I was like, oh. And then we did our tweaks, went straight in it again, and then third time we'd done a fundraising drag night and we sold it out. We sold it out, we couldn't believe that, and everyone was like, "Why didn't you do a second night?" We were like, "Well, we didn't think it was going to be so successful." So we did that. We did a crowdfunding page. We did acting workshops that me and Stacey did for free but charged.
Who helped you out with the crowd? Because the thing I think most people feel embarrassed about crowdfunding is they don't want all their friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like they want the community to help, but it's tough.
It is tough, and a lot
family.
of it is friends and family.
Yeah.
And it's you are like having to rely on people reposting and sharing and hoping that it gets. We had a couple of companies that
Did
support.
you try to reach out to any LGBT? Or any LGBT
charities,
media?
Charities we did, influencers.
Did it work?
Not really. The charities were great and they were really supportive with information and things like that. But they just said we're council funded charities as well, so you know, we can't financially help.
That's the sad thing, isn't it? It's like all these people supporting each other, but they all need the funding.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then the
We're all trying to reach it from.
Yeah.
So we had one private investor that invested £500 or something.
Wow.
So that was good. He's a strong LGBT.
Nice. So he's got a front row seat.
Yeah. So I was like, how many tickets do you want? So yeah, a lot of it is friends and family.
He's going to get his own box.
Yeah. Hopefully not. But a lot of it is friends and family, and it's awful. I hate asking for money. Like, it's the worst thing. So we were very much like, we're not asking you for it. We're just asking to share it, get it out there. So then that's what made us do the fundraising night. So we got 6 brilliant drag artists to come and do it for free. Like, we just paid their travel, and obviously they got tickets to come and see it. And we got people to sponsor things. So my friend works at a gym, so she sponsored us that. One of my best mates is a PT, so he gave us a free PT session. We gave 2 free tickets to the show, you know, and we did things like that. But it was just, and we didn't, everyone was
all
like...
before you actually got the funding?
Yeah, and it like, because one of our feedbacks and one of our things was, we don't feel like you're doing enough charity run, like fundraising events.
Wow.
And we feel like it could be stronger. They don't say you're not doing enough, but they say there's stronger applicants out there that are doing that.
That's interesting how they
I suppose they just don't want people just going, oh, well, we want it Arts Council funded, so we'll just do the application and then sit there. Like, they want to see if you want it badly enough.
But at the same time, don't you feel like there's people that work so hard that they're practically there already, and then by the time the funding comes, it's like, well, we did all the hard work.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like, you know, when we didn't get it for the second time, we just sat there and we were like, what more can we do?
Yeah.
And our second application was, it got to the board. So it got to the board and there was a stronger one there on the day. So we didn't fail on anything.
Oh, wow.
So we were like, but by then we'd done the fundraising night.
Do you know who got it?
No. So we did the we did the fundraising night and raised obviously much more than we thought. So we could knock our money down we were asking for. So we fell into the next bracket where we only had to wait 8 weeks.
Okay.
And then we got it. So it could have been that we asked for that little bit less, or it could have been.
Well, so what happened? You did ask for more? You asked for less?
We asked for less. We got it.
You got it. But it's still enough for what you need.
Yeah. So I mean, it's still, again, like.
Well, how long you
People
running
don't.
for?
3 weeks.
And what's the biggest cost? Venue and actors?
Yeah.
You're going to say the actors.
The actors, yeah.
We need to get paid too.
We do, exactly. And that's why everyone's like, you could take the wages down if you didn't get it and
But you did. It's equity. So
yeah,
it's
and also
fantastic.
like it's company rate, and we just really wanted.
Company rate means what? It's like the same as a West End show.
No, as in same. So your biggest
Everybody's
star
the same, yeah.
or your person who's just come out of drama school, you're all on the same wage.
Do you have a star?
We've got Wendy Peters, so she was in Corrie, she's done loads of West End.
And she's cool with it being company rate.
Yeah, she's great. She did our R&D, which we were gobsmacked about. And
how did you find her?
Brilliant. Like she has been.
No, but how did you get in touch with her?
Oh, I see. So she did a play. She did. Oh my God, what was it called with Marcus? Oh, What a Lovely War at West End with with my sister's boyfriend.
It's a comedy, right?
And What a Lovely War, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a knees up, old school, East London.
It rings a bell.
Yeah, and they did that, and he was obviously they were chatting. Obviously, it's like with a cast. He was like, oh, my girlfriend and her sister have written a play, and said it was like, would you come to do the table read? They need a mum in it, and she was like, yeah, and we were like, well, she said yes to come to do this table read because we weren't paying, and then we got the R&D, and we were like, well, we're off for it. There's no way Wendy will say yes, and then she was like, yeah, I think it's fantastic. Play. I think it's a brilliant story. I feel like it should have a platform. Count me in. So then when we got the Arts Council funding for our actual play, we offered it out to her, and she went absolutely, and we were like, huh? So
do you think having her helped?
No, because we couldn't confirm her. You have to confirm your actors on the Arts Council funding. So you have to say that you've expecting or confirmed or have reached out. So unless she absolutely said yes.
And your budget was kind of pretty set in stone to the Art Council. This is what we're spending on.
Yeah. Because
so
they
you don't want to be like,
break it down. Yeah.
I'm paying myself £1 million.
No, no. You have to the money is exactly accounted for, which was definitely Stacey's doing, because I was just like, what? I don't understand.
And how did you gauge that? It's all from equity?
Yeah, we went through the Pleasance. The Pleasance Theatre have been amazing. Nick, who heads up it there, he was just like, come in, we'll talk through the budget, and he was like, right, this is what you can cut on that, that's what you can do on that, and he was absolutely fantastic. He was so good. And then he was like, this is if you get Arts Council funding, if you don't, then you could do a different rate, and it still followed that guideline, and and so he was couldn't sing his praises more. So without him we would have been lost on our budget, because he was great. But yeah, so we got it, and then we were like, right, we thought that was the hard work done, and it has been, it's been very testing, and it's been a huge roller coaster and learning how to do things. And you're like, this budget's for marketing, what does that actually mean? What do you actually it's just been, but it's been amazing. And now we've got here, it's just like, right, okay, now we've handed it over to our consultant producer, marketing director.
But
and
that
now
you never planned on having those, right, until the art funding.
We'd have had to do it all ourselves. We wouldn't have directed it, but yeah, we'd have had to do everything else ourselves. So you really do appreciate people now, where you watch them doing it all, and you're like, no wonder you've got sleepless nights. It's a big task, and especially when you've got a company that you've got all these actors that are like, right, we're ready to go, and you're like, oh, right, okay. And it's amazing we've got the play published, so that was such an achievement.
So what was that process? Wait, one second. So you got marketing budget. So what is that going
So
on?
Marketing would be going on.
You were selling tickets already, right?
Yep, selling tickets. So
not
by just
sold out yet.
No, not yet. But by just being on BBC Breakfast the other day, our tickets sales went nicely up. So that was good.
Was that part of the marketing budget, or was
no?
Arts
that
Council?
Was just. So we've got a PR team, Chloe Nilkin, and they are fantastic.
Amazing.
And they've got us people coming in at press. And then
was that tough to get things like that, or you don't know? I guess
don't know. Yeah, they do it.
That
was
you're
part
on
of
BBC
our,
tomorrow.
Yeah, that was part of our marketing budget, was to get a good PR company in, and they've been great. Yeah, they've got Wendy was on Sky News, we were on BBC Breakfast. I've got BBC Radio on Saturday.
Well. You're going to be on the tube?
On the tube?
Tube stations, some posters.
If I have to put it up myself, I'll be like, yeah, and then run. But yeah, we got London Live, ITV, so they've done really well.
The theatres, how many seaters?
87.
87.
Yeah.
And you're running how long?
3 weeks, and it's a 70-minute show.
3 weeks, five shows a week?
We do Tuesday to Sunday.
Tuesday to Sunday.
We're matinee. So.
Oh, and matinee.
Yeah.
So double show Sunday.
No, it's on a Sunday. It's on a Saturday. So you've got 2 shows on a Saturday, 1 on a Sunday, Monday off, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. 7
shows a week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad those actors get the equity
Do you know what I mean?
right? Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be full on, but it's it's 70 minutes straight through.
And ticket sales, how are they doing?
Yeah, doing alright at the minute.
Amazing.
So yeah, we've got 2 nights that sold out at the minute, and then the rest of them are looking healthy. So as long, that's what I was saying with the Arts Council, they don't hand over the money and then you go, brilliant. Well, if we sell 10 tickets, you have to hit a certain amount, so you have to hit 60% box office to then fully have covered everything. So they make you work.
So it's almost like you're paying for it first, and then they're paying you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can just sit back, and I think that's good because I do think you wouldn't be so hungry for it, like the promo and.
Do you remember that show, The Producers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you could do that, right? You could get the Arts Council and then just the show was a flop and.
God, yeah.
Do a run.
And then run.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't really think I'm going to go down that route just yet, but so hopefully. With all of the press and interviews we've got lined up and that it should.
You'll be a sellout show.
Yeah, I think it's cruised.
Amazing.
So
I guess after that, I'm not sure how it works. I imagine you would then have had a good relationship with Arts Council and makes it easier for the next one.
People do say, obviously not guaranteed, and you don't have a foot in the door, but once you've done one, you sort of now know what you need already. Like we now know what we need to write.
It's the experience, and they also trust you because they know that you follow through, that you did raise your own capital, and that you can sell it. You can sell a show,
definitely,
and produce a show. I mean, so that you're at that stage now. You're producing the show.
Yeah. So we've just as of today, we've handed it over to our consultant producer.
Okay.
Just because we're not going to be in that rehearsal room trying to do everything.
But what's interesting is you cast it before you actually went into casting process, right?
No,
you had them on paper, you had to confirm them.
Yeah, but we didn't have everyone. So we used the people that we had the R&D, and we had Elliot, our friend that we did but his part got liquidated where we had to get rid of a part. He was our ensemble and had a few characters.
Thank goodness he's in Hong Kong doing Gruffalo.
I know, right? I did message him and I was like, I didn't get rid of you. Like, there's no one taking your part because he was fantastic. I was like, we don't have that part anymore. He was like, oh, don't be silly. I was like, no, but I didn't want that. But no,
because that's the thing is he knows how to smile through the pain. So you just never know.
Doesn't he? Exactly. But it's me, Stacey, and Wendy that are still the same, and we had to recast 3.
Okay.
That's 4.
So it's 6 people.
Yeah.
So you dropped it from 8 to 6.
So and then we used Pearson Casting and got casting agents into.
And what did they use backstage? Spotlight.
And then and that was a crazy experience from being always in as the actor to then sit on the other side and watch.
Did you use Spotlight Studios?
No, we used 2. Again, we had to get support in kind for one venue, and then we used Theatre Delhi. But it was just mad seeing that.
It is crazy, right? Because have you done that before, casting?
Never.
Before? It is weird when you're on the other side because you really understand how it's not down to talent.
Yeah.
It's it's so much about are you going to fit well with the cast?
Well, yeah, because we picked our Vicky and Sid. Sid is her partner.
Already, so you need to match them.
Yeah, so we were doing a lot of but we liked him, but we really liked him, and we were swapping around and everything. And then when we were offering parts, because a certain Vicky would work well with a certain Sid, it was like, right, well, we need to make sure we offer the Vicky first, say, and if the person who is playing Vicky says yes, then we can offer the Sid. But if she says no, he says no, then do we go with the next Vicky and the second Sid, or do we go with the first? Yeah. And so it amazed me how I ever got a casting, got an actual job for the way that we swapped and changed so much and that. But we're really happy with our cast. So.
But I think it's so relieving once you've done it for actors out there. I think they should all experience it to do your own project. because that's when you really realize that it's so easy to take it personally when you do a casting and you're like, oh, why didn't they pick me? I thought I did so good.
Yeah.
They're like, might have nothing to do with you, and completely because they picked their Vicky and you just don't match, you know?
No, I know, it's mad. But it was a great experience. Then we did recalls, which did more of a workshop, and I loved getting up. I was like, oh yeah, I'll read. But yeah, so it's just been, do you know, it's like so many people are like, you must be so proud and this is fantastic. But I think because it's been such a whirlwind the last few months, that I really do need to just step back and be like, right, let me just, you know, and I think that...
But do you think you're going to fully be able to appreciate it until opening night?
No,
not
I think
opening night,
the last bail, and then I think we'll be like...
And then you're going to be like, I want a holiday.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I can't wait to get started now, like properly. Just being the actor.
So far, most exciting part of it?
I think getting the phone call from Arts Council.
Who got the phone
Stacey, no, it's not even a phone call, that's the worst of it. They send an email, and we were on our last day to hear, and it was 4:45, and it was 5 o'clock was the
And you were
cut-off.
together?
And no, she was working, and I was shopping with my mum in Oxford Street Standard, and she rang and she went, Nick, and she was like, and I went, no. I thought, not again, I can't do this. And she, we got it, and I literally was like,
So she was she playing you, or she was so
no,
emotional?
she was so upset that I just took it as bad news, standard. And
but upset with joy.
She was just like, she was just gobsmacked. She went, I can't believe we've done it.
Oh, I thought she was being an actress and trying to...
No, I would have killed her. I'd have literally killed her. So that was definitely a highlight. And so me and my husband went round to her flat with her partner, and we got a bottle of champagne and was like,
nice.
Yes, we've done it. That one was definitely...
This champagne's going on the budget.
Yeah, I was like, can this come out of expenses? And then I think getting our cast as well, when we sat there with the casting directors and was like, this is your cast, this is your Vicky, and that was a crazy experience just to...
And you've got a great poster. Did that help make it real?
Yeah, I mean, getting the flyers through and poster, like when they come through, you go,
names there,
yeah.
by.
It was. I do think when I hold our script published, that would be a huge...
So did you have to get it published?
No.
So but you have. So getting it published means that I could go put it on in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So then I would buy the rights off.
Yeah. And you would be able to go
into...
into...
an official writer.
Yeah.
Are you part of the Writers Guild now as well then?
I don't know.
I guess you could be if you
I
wanted.
could be if I wanted. Let me just tick off doing this play first, and then. But everyone's like, "Oh, what do you think you'll write next?" I was like, "I don't know if I will write next."
Well, you never know. You might turn into the...
I might turn into a writer.
Those two famous brothers that, you know...
Do you know what someone said? We were the Craze brothers of... Craig brothers of...
I don't think they wrote anything, but...
That was theatre, and I was like, oh, lovely. I was like, which one am I? The one that just goes and shoots the gun. But yeah, no.
I
so
mean, you are the one that did Fight Club. So.
Do you know what I mean? I'm the one, and also we've realised that, you know, I'm the pit bull out of the two of us. Stacey's like, I don't want to ring. I'm like, I'll ring. Right, okay, this is what we need. And Stacey's like,
you need that. You need that balance.
You do need that balance, and it really has been. You know, Stacey's very diplomatic.
But my question is, when you had important meetings where you didn't need the pit bull, were you asked to, like, Nick, maybe you sit this one out?
No, not at all. I think I didn't dare, but it was sort of a bit like, Nick, just remember to breathe and think before you speak. I was like, yeah, I've got this.
Get your stress ball.
Yeah. So when it was BBC Breakfast, they were like, remember it's live TV, Nick, live TV. I was like, yeah, this is fine, I've got this. So...
and that's did you get nervous for that? It's different.
It's
different from performing though.
Yeah, because you're there as yourself, like you're talking as Nicola and not as a character, and I found that quite...
So I guess you haven't had this yet because the show's not on, but I was talking to this about Tom with the Secret Theatre show that I'm in now, and I remember like Tom was pacing and I put myself in his shoes for a second. I was like, it must be so nerve-wracking. Performing's one thing, but when someone's criticising your writing... I know. It's like criticising your brain. That must be something totally different.
I know, that's the thing, and it's going to be.
But at the same time, it's not something you came up with.
No,
this is a story, so at least you've got that.
Yeah, and fingers crossed. But I do try and tell myself like it's just someone's opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll read any reviews until the end.
Yeah. Oh, really? Until the end of the show?
Yeah.
Now guaranteed you will not last that long.
I know, but I just think, imagine if I read something I hated and then did my performance differently.
Well, that's what's so hard is you're performing in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like taking the knock, or when you've like read reviews about yourself, like yourself in the past, you're just doing a take on the character that's in front of you. Like you haven't written the character.
Well, I think the worst one is when they review you and they don't even mention you.
I know.
Like in Hong Kong, I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. I think we had a review once and they said.
But surely they're going to ask for some interviews with you.
Yeah, well, we've had a few and we've got a few more coming up.
Is there anyone you want? GQ.
We've got
GQ Secret Theatre. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we all be like, what? We've got QX, which is a gay magazine, and Attitude, and they're both putting a small feature or advert in their magazine. It'd be great if their reviewers come and saw it. And do you know what? It's not even, and this is like the honest truth. I would rather. We did the R&D, and this lady stood up. I won't say her name or anything. She stood up. We hadn't invited her. She was part of the cast's guests that they said, "Oh, do you mind if these two ladies come?" And we were like, "No." She stood up at the end and she was like, "Can I say something in the Q&A?" And we were like, "Yeah, absolutely." And all of us actors are sitting there, didn't know what she was going to say. And she was like, "My daughter's transgender. She's transitioning at the minute, and your play has taken me on an emotional roller coaster. And I thank you. This is set in the 80s and now we're in 2017. And I feel overwhelmed with emotion, and I think you've portrayed it brilliantly, and I could relate to the character of Sylvie and all of this." And she just sobbed and then was like, "Would you like to see a picture of my daughter?" And we saw her and she was beautiful. And I just, at that moment, just thought, yeah, this is what we're doing it. And she went, "I don't come to the theatre. I'm not really into the theatre.
Well,
I'm going to come and see this."
Amazing.
And that's what it is. We want to put it on a platform that opens it up to everyone. Like, Vicky doesn't go to the theatre. Vicky's mum doesn't go to the theatre. Like, it's not like we would rather, it's a working class play, and we want normal people coming to see it. Like, everyone.
Well, that's the challenge you have now. Is
Yeah.
how do you get people that might appreciate it to actually come out to see a play?
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. So it's great doing, like Wendy's just done an interview with Evening Standard, and hopefully we've got Metro and Time Out coming and things like that. But we've got interviews with local papers in the area of Islington and Romford and Essex and Camden, and we've got that, and we've got advertisement going in there. So hoping that them local papers go into local doors and get picked up by people, and we're really reaching out to the LGBT community to get them to plug it, and we really just want a wide audience of
Well, without giving away too much of a story, do you feel that you're telling a story without an agenda, or are you hoping that this will make people think in a certain way?
A bit of both, really. We didn't want it too much like, what's your message, but at the same time you are writing a play that does, you're putting it on a platform, it does need a message.
Yeah.
But I think what's great with our play is that it's a love story, but between Vicky and her best friend, Vicky and her mum, Vicky and her boyfriend, Vicky and the drag community of this Golden Girl pub that's set in Soho. And and I think it's an empowering story to say, like, she goes through some shit and she comes out the other end, and the thing is, it's not a happy ending. It doesn't end at happy ever after, or end when it's all finished, done and dusted. It ends at a pivotal moment where it's just the next chapter in her life. And we hope people come out and if it makes someone be able to slightly understand what someone else is going through a little bit more, then I would be happy that our job, our job's done.
I was reading some stuff about Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's what a lot of people were saying was so nice about it, because there was so much on his relationship with they got married, right? His wife, and how that was never diminished. Like, he still loved her. Yeah. It's just there's different types of love, and his relationship with his parents, and then finding the guy.
I did love that. Well, it's funny because our lead, Vicky, was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, no way.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, so the boy... Sorry that if he listens to this, it's going to be terrible. The boy who, when Freddie comes out of the clinic after finding out it's HIV positive, and the boy goes, "Ayo," and then he turns around and goes, "Ayo."
Oh, sweet.
It's that boy there. But
Nice.
I didn't know that at the time. But yeah, so I suppose he gets recognised quite a lot from that. It's quite a moment. But yeah, that film was brilliant.
That was a good AO.
Ayo. Yeah, if you asked me to do any more, it would have all gone a bit pitchy, but you know. But yeah,
so
no.
much
So
like you've been practicing.
well, you know, I've just done it so many times. I'm joking. So yeah, no, I'm just excited to get going and.
And how is the? I mean, because I only came back to. I mean, I guess I always have a very interesting perspective on it because Hong Kong and Asia can be a little bit behind with LGBT rights. And yet I studied acting in America, so I kind of keep on top of the American stuff. But how is the situation in England?
I mean, I think we've obviously got still a long way to go, and I feel like as a straight white girl, I can't imagine. Do you know what I mean? It'd be so easy for me to sit here and go, oh, it's so accepted. I mean, it's hugely improved since the 80s.
But you know what I think is such a unique opportunity, especially for anyone that does listen to this, is I was listening to some people talk about this, and they were saying it is actually impossible for anyone to speak about a group unless that group elected them to speak.
Yeah.
So actually, anyone can kind of talk about their opinion of it or their story of it, and that's literally what you're doing. You don't have to be part of the LGBT to tell a great LGBT story.
Yeah, and a true story. And the thing is, the funny thing I have found with it is that because a lot of people asked us if Vicky would interview, and she was like, no, I'm not interested. She's not in that, like, you know, she's not into
yet
that.
You can do it for her.
Yeah, but she did say, I don't see myself as a transgender woman. I don't see myself as a trans woman.
Interesting.
She said, I see myself as a woman. She's like, I believed I was a woman. Like from day dot, from as long as I can remember. I transitioned and I've been living as a woman ever since. And it's quite, it's quite mad because she says, I watched the telly and I see, trans women proud. And she said, I'm not ashamed, but I don't look at myself as a trans woman. I look at myself as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's mad. Like, it's great. Like, but it just shows you in the 80s, she was like, I've come out. It's like, she come out as gay, suppose testing the waters, but she always knew she was in the wrong body from an early age, and her mum knew she was completely different.
Well, you've also said it a couple of times that you said this is a working class story. Do you think class has something to play into it?
I just think it's I do think it has.
I mean, I might get a bit in trouble, but I've been listening to it, to a lot of this talks about it, and they said some people feel that one thing about Caitlyn Jenner is the thing is like, would it have been so high profile if it wasn't such a high profile white male?
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Whereas the thing is, this is a working class story.
I think why it's important, like why it was important for us to keep it as a working class story, is that if you're in a position where it's easy for this to all happen, like Vicky still had to work. Her mum and dad, they lived on a council estate in the 80s in the Elephant and Castle. I mean, it was a rough. Her mum worried when she used to walk, like, go off to work in Soho and things like that, dressed as she was. She was petrified she'd be beaten up before she got there. Like, and I do think that plays a huge part. Yeah. A rough council estate, and she was worried for her safety. And
I mean, the one that the story that like jumps to mind, like that parallels, is like, I think that was the thing that I loved about Billy Elliot, was because he's a working guy, and the whole family's got to worry about strikes and what's the future of minors. Yep. That then they don't want to deal with a boy that suddenly wants to be a dancer. They just don't want to. It's like, it's not in our world.
No, definitely, and I think that's what it is. That they that wasn't their world. They didn't know anyone gay, let alone So Sylvie was very much,
and that's
like
that's part of the story.
Like you'll be beaten up. I'm worried for you, or and a lot of times she would slip up and be like he, or call Vicky Martin, which was the name she was born as. and things like that. And that plays a part in it. We can't, skim round that all of a sudden Vicky said, "Mum, I'd like to be called Vicky," and she was like, "Brilliant, okay, Vicky, what would you like to?" It wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
But with love and a good community around you, and that you can get through anything.
And then how are you dealing with the sort of the time setting? Is that tricky because it's set a few years ago rather than modern day?
No.
Did you ever think about let's modernize it?
No, because I think a lot of the stories that happen without giving things away wouldn't be as relevant now, or wouldn't be so wouldn't be shock factor. I was just about to give you an example, but it would not
spoil it.
Yeah.
No spoilers. So, no spoilers here.
No spoilers. So that was, and also the costumes and the songs, the drag shows and things like that. It was so alive, and we wanted to be truthful with the songs that when they did drag that they sung and things like that. So
did that make it harder for you for budget because you need everything sort of contemporary?
I mean, you've got to pay for the rights for all the songs and things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But again, the theatre helps with that. Not cost-wise, but I mean, make sure that you're ticking all the boxes and you're not going to get whacked with a fine. And that's what I mean. It's all of that. You don't think, you're going, we'll put that song in. Yeah, we'll put that song in, and then
you
don't realise.
Everything costs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, I think the nice thing is because you've got funded, you can play everything by the book. It's not like you're like, well, we just throw it in and no one's going to notice.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And I'm glad. I don't want to be worrying about things like that,
Now you can just worry about the critics and your performance.
But I did say that to Stacey. I was very strong on that. I said, I don't want to do this on a budget. Obviously, this is a budget. If we had our way, we'd have a West End budget, as in a huge, But I mean, as in, I didn't want to be like, oh no, we can't afford that. We'll sack that bit off. No, we won't do that.
You don't know, because
no,
maybe you can. Well, especially moving forward, or if you do a second run, maybe it's sponsored, and maybe you get.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got other theatres coming to press night, so it might get picked up.
Well, that's so strange because your press night for you is going to be so many different elements as an actress, as a writer, as a producer.
Yeah, no, I know.
Crazy. So
our producer's already told us that.
You started rehearsal, right?
No, so we started our script meeting this script, not edits, but getting with the director, making sure all of that, and then Friday's our table read, and then we go full start.
Because I wonder what it's going to be like as an actress that wrote it, and then some director's telling you what to do.
Well, when we did the R&D, we made a pact that once we stepped in that room, we were only actors, and unless anything major changed in the script, or someone didn't like something to an extreme, not I don't think that they would say that line or that word. We couldn't be precious. We had to say, if we're going to be actors in it, we can't be precious.
Yeah.
It's not fair on the actor. They should be able to have the freedom to explore the character and not us go, no, we didn't think that, or oh no. But we said unless there was huge changes, that then they would just say, right, let's have a 5-minute tea break. Writers out the room with the director and let's chat.
Yeah.
R&D. No, I think 90% was fine. I think we had a couple where Matt, our director at the time, was like, girls, let's have a coffee break and we'll talk this bit through, and then we all agreed, and then we'd go back in. We never did it in front of the actors. We never wanted it to be awkward where then the actors couldn't talk freely or openly towards us. Do you know what I mean? We didn't want that. So first day of rehearsals, Victoria, who's our new director, only because Matt is at the National. So la-di-da, so he couldn't do it, but Victoria's great, and she is going to say straight early doors, right, these girls are now actors, they're not the writers in the room, any questions go directed to the director. And
did you hold casting for directors basically?
Yeah, we met a few.
Crazy.
Yeah, and we've got a heavily
how do you cast a director? Just
obviously they send you their CVs and show reels of what work they've done, and just really we wanted to go on what our gut. We wanted to meet them.
You just have a coffee and you get their feedback on it.
Yeah. And we send them the script, they have a read, they give us their feedback on it, and it was hard. But
it's tough because so much of it must be based on enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
and
a director.
I found that people because obviously the first person we met, they were like, right, I think this and I think that and that and that, and I was a bit like, oh, got my back up a little bit. I was like, that was very honest about the script. Do you know what I mean? But then you think, then we met somebody else and they were like, yeah, I mean, I could do it. And I'm like, yeah, but have you not got a bit of
Some
me?
fire,
Like, yeah. And then we met Victoria, and she was a happy medium. Like, she had enough notes, but yet she was like, I'm passionate about this, and her cousin's transitioning at the minute. So she's got a personal investment. Yeah, and we just like hit it off, and you know, with 3 fiery girls, you know, and it was either going to go one way or another, but we've just clicked. And she done a master's in directing and dramaturgical works, and so she's done a bit of that with us as well. So we've had quite a few meets where she's gone, this is what I think of this bit, what do you think of this bit, rah. We've gone back and forth quite a few times, so now we're just ready to get it in the room and awesome. Just get started. So
and then so like just this last few things, when this is a success, do you think you'd write it for TV? Have you got that far? We've got
a couple of people interested that are coming to press night. So touch wood, they like it, and I'd never say never.
Have you seen that? It's not related that much, but have you seen that show Glow?
Yeah.
About the female wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because that's like period and like.
Yeah, I started watching it when we first started. Not first started running. I think it was after our R&D. People were like, have you seen Glow? Yeah. Loads of people recommend so much stuff to you, and I watched it, and I was like, yeah, I can see why someone's recommended it. Yeah. Because obviously, you know, 80s world trying to it was set in the 80s, wasn't it, or late 70s? 80s, and trying to get women wrestlers on the out there. It's a good show. But so we've got a really good creative team. It's heavily female, which is great. But we've got Jack on lighting, he's great, and the set. I'm so excited to see the set. It's all exciting. It is like, as I was saying it out loud, I'm like, it's brilliant.
It's your baby come to life, and it's so cool that you get to share it with your sister.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just we've had to find a thing to go right. Okay, like because you can lose your temper with family, and you don't know. I was going to say, has there been any fighting? No, we've had a few where we've given each other like that sort of you've gone too far type of thing. We've gone, right, should we call it a day? Yeah, let's call it a day.
But you had the same tastes in directors. You have the same taste in actors. Luckily. That was what we were worried about as well, and we was just like, and we made an agreement that if we wasn't both 100% on an actor, we would sleep on it, think about it, look at different, like, you know, and all the way through the casting we sort of kept writing notes to each other and making sure we were on the same page. But yeah, no. But that's amazing because like since you've got the funding, it's actually gone really fast.
Yeah. So we found out the funding. We got the funding on something like 28th of November, and it was all systems go.
Is that part of the funding that once you get the money?
No, so we had to say yes to the Pleasance whether we got funding or not.
Wow.
So it was either going to be on a crazy budget or Arts Council. And they sat there and was like, right, is this a definite because it needs to go in our programme, as in like what's coming up next season? Yeah. And I went, yeah, fuck it. And Stacey was like, oh my God. I was like, Stacey, you've just got to have faith in yourself sometimes. Wow. And then 3 weeks later we found out we got Arts Council funding, and we both just was like, this is going to make life so much easier. Yeah. So,
well, yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks. So yeah, it'd be great.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to...
No, just Pleasance Theatre, 18th of Feb to the 9th of March. 70 minutes. Come support. It's brilliant.
Amazing. Yeah. And hopefully we'll get you back here.
Yeah, 100%. And
we hear the next step.
The next instalment.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, guys.